with today's meeting. We're really thankful and appreciative for everyone being available to be on the call. Again, coming off of a very successful BOC, and we're really excited about our first meeting after that. And we were hoping that we were going to be in person, but that's not quite possible right now. And so again, as we did in 2020, we had to make a quick pivot, but we'll continue to move forward. And really thankful for our host today with our corporate partner from Michelin being able to host our meeting today. And so we're really thankful to have them host and also provide us with a speaker for today. And so we'll get into that as we move forward with our agenda. And hopefully everybody received our agenda in advance, and you have that in front of you, and we'll follow our agenda as outlined. So first of all, Crystal, if you're on the call, she also circulated our minutes. And so Crystal, if you would present our minutes, and we can get approval of those from our last meeting, which was a couple of months ago. So Crystal?
It was. So our last meeting was actually July 7th, and I sent the minutes to everyone on Monday. So hopefully everybody had a chance to look over those. The guest speaker was Ron Connor from the South Carolina Procurement Technical Assistance Center, and he gave some helpful information about how to do business with them and the small business development centers. I believe, Jerry, I was going to ask you, he was going to send out some contact information. I don't know that he ever did, so that we could forward it to the group.
I don't recall if he did or not. I can certainly check, and I can circle back and try to get that information out to the ring. So okay. I'll follow up on that.
Okay. And then the MBE spotlight was Chef Maria, and I think that was great. She has such great energy, and I think she has a lot of good things to offer. So hopefully in the minutes, everybody has her website and contact information. So get in touch with her for anything that you need. And then Carlo provided the MBE IC chair report. Still wanting to get MBE vendors to participate, really get the benefit out of your membership. And then we had our CVMSD report updates, which mainly centered around the BOC, which kind of took place of our last month meeting. And then Mike Peters had mentioned the Amazon Black Accelerator program for everyone, just to pass that information along. So if anyone has any questions or corrections, let me know. Otherwise, does anyone make a motion to approve the minutes from July?
John Carlos.
So we have a motion by John Carlo. Did anyone second it?
Second it.
Who was that?
Greg Watson.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Great, thank you, and thank you, Crystal, for keeping our minutes. Those are very important so that we can document our progress throughout the year. And so, without further ado, we're really excited about Michelin being our host today, and we have a guest presentation. And I'll just turn the floor over to Yassine to make the introduction of our speaker. Yassine is purchasing manager in industrial supplies for Michelin North America Inc. And so, Yassine, take it away.
Yes, yeah. Good morning, all, and thank you so much for attending this meeting. Let's hope in the years to come we'll get a chance to do it in person. So this is the best situation given the circumstances. So thank you for attending one more time. And I wanted to thank Steve Jarris, my Vice President of Purchasing, for accepting to be our speaker today. So I'm just gonna hand it over to Steve to talk to you about Michelin and doing business with Michelin. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Yassine, and thank you to everybody on the call today. I hope I can share with you some comments that are interesting for everybody. And so I'm a little nervous of whether I'm going to meet that expectation or not, but let's go. So I'll start at the Michelin level and then share with you some of the things Michelin is doing around, I'll say, employee diversity, equity, and inclusion, and then go down another level to what purchasing is doing with suppliers around that subject. And I hope that is interesting to you. So at a high level, Michelin employs about 23,000 employees in North America. That's US and Canada. And we operate 34 factories. We make just about every type of tire in North America that you can think of: car tires, truck tires, plane tires, earth mover, agricultural, construction tires. And we make 3 brands in North America. We make the Michelin brand, BF Goodrich, and Uniroyal brand. Globally, last year, we know that everybody was impacted by the pandemic, and unfortunately, we're still being impacted by the pandemic. Last year, Michelin's revenues were down significantly because of the pandemic. Globally, we did almost 21 billion euros in sales, and about 1/3 of that total, or actually a little more than 1/3 of that total, was generated in North America. So North America, US and Canada are a big part of Michelin's worldwide results, revenues, margins, everything. Globally, we produce about 200 million tires a year. I'm always boggled by that number because Michelin's the leading tire manufacturer in the world, and we only have about 15% share of the global market, and we make 200 million tires a year. So you can imagine how many tires are produced around the world every year. We have an all sustainable approach that's built around people, profit, and planet. And what we think is that to sustain our growth, or to sustain the growth of any company, you must be able to make decisions that take into account social, economic, and environmental issues. If you are only thinking economic, you're probably not going to be a company that stays around for the long term. And so maintaining the balance between people, profit, and planet, we believe is going to enable Michelin to assure our long-term viability. This approach then fuels what we just announced to the marketplace a month or two ago, maybe 2 months ago now, is a 2030 midterm strategy, which is built around 12 key social, societal, financial, and environmental indicators. And at the core of that, I'd say, is that Michelin is going to continue to invest and innovate to grow with tires. But we are also committing much more today than we ever have to grow around tires, which means services and solutions for customers that may or may not have much to do with a tire. So it's a service or a solution in support of the tire. We're also going to grow significantly beyond tires. And when I say beyond tires, I'm talking now about flexible composites in the healthcare industry. Michelin now has acquired companies that make devices that go inside your body. We own companies that are leading the world in metal 3D printing, hydrogen mobility. We own a company called Tablet Hotel, which will help you have a very great vacation experience if you're looking for very unique and specialized hotels. So we're doing a lot to grow beyond tires as well, and ultimately our goal is to generate 20 to 30% of our revenues from these new businesses. All that means There's a whole bunch of new suppliers that we have to learn how to work with and understand how we can find suppliers to support all of our new business activities. I could go on and on about some of our 2030 midterm ambitions. For example, we have a goal to reduce our CO2 emissions by half by 2030 and be carbon neutral by 2050. We also have a goal to have our tires be completely reusable and made with renewable materials by 2050. So no more tires in a landfill, period. Perhaps more importantly to the group today is Michelin also has an aim to become a benchmark company in the field of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And to support this ambition, we've recently defined a new metric for the company. It's very creatively called our Diversity Inclusion Management Index. Not very creative at all, but it's built on 12 different indicators divided into 5 areas, which we will publish publicly to hold ourselves accountable to the progress we want to make. And as I said, we don't just want to make progress, we want to be the benchmark in this area. So we know we have a lot of work to do, but we also know it's the right work to do, and we're tackling it now. Because ultimately, and now I'm speaking for, I'll say, the Michelin employee, our mission is to build a more diverse and inclusive workplace that reflects Michelin's, that reflects the customers that we sell tires to. We sell tires to a diverse marketplace around the world, certainly in North America, and we want to be a reflection of our customers around the world. And so in order to do that, we're emphasizing diversity, equity, and inclusion inside the company, because we know it unlocks a much more dynamic environment where new and different ideas can be shared amongst the teams to spark innovation and drive business results. So in that sense, it's very self-serving. We know that diverse and inclusive teams bring better business results, which is what any company probably strives for. Michelin employees come from a broad range of backgrounds and nationalities. We know that when we work together each and every day, we're going to solve some of our most pressing challenges. So by embracing these unique talents, skills, and opportunities, doesn't just make Michelin a better company. It makes us more competitive, as I said, in the global marketplace. So from an employee perspective, we're looking at six primary categories: recruiting, career development, employee branding defines how we present ourselves to the world and therefore hopefully attract more diverse candidates. Leadership, as I said, we want to be the benchmark in the industry, and in order to be the benchmark, we have a lot of work to do. And we also need to be transparent about the work we are doing. We're doing a lot to develop business resource groups around diversity and inclusion councils, as well as learning and development to ensure we're providing equal opportunity of growth for all employees. We know that this is the right thing to do because companies that embrace this diversity and inclusion outperform their peers. There's plenty of studies, as you all are probably very much aware of, that support this. The teams make better decisions. They move faster. They have fewer meetings. Again, it makes for a more attractive workplace when you're not in meetings all the time and you're making decisions quickly, and the decisions you're making are the right ones. So concretely, what is Michelin North America doing? Right now, we've set targets in order to bring a more diverse pool of candidates into the company. And in fact, this year in 2021, 60% of our new hires are going to be women or minorities. Last year in 2020, we achieved 53% of our new hires meeting our diversity ambitions. We had a goal of 55% last year, so we didn't quite meet our goal last year. The bar is now raised this year to 60%, and we're tracking pretty good against that goal this year, despite the pandemic and the difficulty of many companies to hire enough people. And in fact, if you want to come work at Michelin, we have job openings today that we're trying to fill, in some cases desperately trying to fill. So we need to continue to establish this pipeline of diverse candidates coming into the company, because we know that 5 and 10 years from now, those diverse candidates will have a career path. They'll move into management, they'll move into middle management, senior management, executive management, and that will help radically transform our company. And you know, it's not surprising that we want to do the same thing with our supplier base as well, because we know that having a more diverse supplier base supporting our needs will also be a performance driver for the company, because we'll get a much wider range of vendor talents, skills, backgrounds, personalities that will make us stronger as a procurement department, and ultimately those solutions that our suppliers provide will turn into competitive advantage for Michelin. So currently we spend about $240 million per year with minority and women-owned businesses. It's not enough. And while it's at $240 million is nothing to sneeze at, given the spend that Michelin has in North America, the purchasing spend, we know we can do much better than that. So as I said, just like our employee talent pipeline to bring new employees into the company, we're committed to strengthen our supplier pipeline to help broaden and diversify the pool of suppliers we can partner with, building business relationships that we can take advantage of these suppliers' unique skills, talents. And so our role, and Yassine is leading the effort for Michelin in North America, and I thank her for that, is to find these suppliers who can create value for Michelin, because at its core, that's what our purchasing department does. It's probably what any purchasing department does, is to buy the right product or service in the right quantity, with the right quality, at the right time, in the right place, for the right price. We manage risk. We also have a big initiative to pull innovation from our suppliers into the company. Michelin many years ago was very arrogant, thinking we knew all there was to know. We know what we need, we know how to do it, and we will tell you what we need. And thankfully, many years ago, we realized that we don't know everything in the world. We don't know what we need. We don't know all the industry best practices. We don't know all the innovative products and services. And so we rely today on our suppliers to bring us that innovation. And in fact, suppliers, it's probably one of the big golden tickets. Suppliers that come with innovation that help us do things better, faster, stronger, less expensively, better quality. It's the easiest way to earn our business, because we are we are like sponges and seeking that innovation. In conclusion, we're seeking to grow our spend with minority business enterprises, women-owned businesses as well. And we want to be very intentional about who we choose to do business with. Push comes to shove, we're going to go with the minority business enterprise every time, everything else being equal. Suppliers must earn our business, and I think suppliers want to earn our business. They know they need to earn our business, but we're thankful for organizations like CBM SDC. That's a mouthful to say. Hopefully I said it right, CBM SDC. But we're very thankful for your organization that can help us connect with minority-owned businesses, so we can find these win-wins to help foster some economic development and wealth creation amongst our suppliers, while simultaneously ensuring the value creation, the innovation that Michelin is seeking. So thank you for letting us be a part of your organization, and thank you for helping us connect with more and more minority business enterprises this year and in the future.
Well, thank you, Steve. Thank you, Steve, for your presentation and for being engaged with CVMSDC. You got the letters right. So you're ahead of everybody else. So I did have one question before Jerry jumps in, and that you talked about innovation from our suppliers. Yes. How are you engaging our MBEs in the R&D process?
Yeah, it's from a procurement point of view, and Yassine can help me here. I mean, there's several different ways to search the market in terms of suppliers with unique capabilities. From an R&D point of view, we ask our engineers who they know what they're trying to accomplish. I need to make a tire that has 20% better fuel efficiency, 30% longer tread life, 10% shorter stopping distance, or coupled with that R&D around the product could be R&D around a machine. I need the machine to work faster. I need the machine to be lighter, whatever the case may be. So purchasing pulls these needs, these wants, these desires from our engineers. And now we have the challenge of saying, okay, I need to find a supplier who's good at material science on elastomers. It's sometimes a very challenging exercise to go into the marketplace to find perhaps a very small innovative company that has that capability. We go to universities a lot looking for postgraduates that might have a startup or something that may have some expertise around these subjects. But R&D, that's probably one of the hardest ones, quite honestly, to find suppliers of any kind that have that unique skill set we're looking for. We have a lot of, that's probably one of the hardest ones, to be honest, to find that skill set.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And I believe, just to add to it, Steve is right. So as far as innovations, we're pretty open. We invite always vendors to come and share new ideas. But as far as research, if I remember correctly, we have one of the largest with all Michelin Research Center. So some things are just like a niche and they are in-house. Perhaps the innovative product or equipment is always welcome, but I don't think the research and development has been outsourced any when it comes to developing tires. Has it been?
The R&D has not been outsourced, no. And as you said, we do have a very large, we employ hundreds of people both in North America, Europe, and Asia that work exclusively on these kinds of subjects, but for example, we're partnering with a company in Canada right now, a small company that figured out how to use microwave energy to nuke. I'm not an engineer, so to nuke a used tire, to break down the raw materials in that tire in such a way so that they can be reincorporated into a new tire. And so we don't have microwave specialists inside of Michelin. We're working with another company in Chile right now, but I believe it's an American company, but we just happened to set up the first operation in Chile that is doing a similar activity to take scrap tires and break them down into their core components, so those components can be reused again. And I said in about 5 minutes ago that one of our ambitions is by 2050 to have a tire be completely recyclable, reusable. Nothing goes to waste. And so these are the two examples I just offered are two innovations that certainly come from outside the company that we go, we can use that, we think, to help us move on our path towards achieving this 2050 ambition. So we do have a lot of chemists and scientists inside of Michelin, but if you know of smart companies that can help us, believe me, we are all ears to again hook up the right people with the right internal partners within Michelin, so they can have smart conversations about capabilities and see if we can form a relationship, a partnership, a business relationship.
Outstanding.
Great, Steve. Great information, and I've learned quite a bit about Michelin that I didn't know prior to your presentation. I didn't know you all were getting into so many areas beyond tires, but that's outstanding. Any other questions for Steve or Yassine? While we have them here, didn't want to take away time from anyone who had a question.
Can I ask one, Steve? This is Roger Stone. What do you think COVID is going to have a long-term impact with you and peer companies on shortening of supply chain? Are there going to be opportunities for U.S. MBEs to provide you things that you've historically sourced globally? And could you sort of feel that for both Michelin and what you see among peer companies?
I would say the short answer is absolutely yes. The container, the maritime freight situation right now is horrible. We read stories about 50 container ships sitting off the port, off of California that can't get in to unload their goods. We hear about ports in Asia, in China, that are shutting down, for a week or 10 days because of COVID. And all of that puts gaps and holes in the supply chains. When factories shut down in Thailand or wherever we're sourcing some goods from today for, let's say, raw materials, it puts enormous stress and strain on what we're trying to do here, which is keep our factories running. And the easiest one to think about is raw materials. And we are working very hard to find sources of raw materials here in the Americas, certainly in North America. But also it goes beyond that when we talk about machines and parts for machines and anything associated with making a tire. Those are most often the things that are most likely to come from Asia or Europe today. And step by step, we are actively seeking companies in our own backyard, if you will, that can do those activities for us. It creates competition, and competition's great because when we have more sources of supply, at the end of the day, suppliers have to fight for our business, which is good for us. It typically tends to keep prices under control, which as a purchasing person, I want. At the same time, as you said, it makes the supply chain much, much shorter, easier to manage, less risk to our business continuity, which we want. And I think Michelin is not alone in that regard. I think many companies are looking to onshore what previously they didn't think twice about offshoring something. And now we're all having that reflection. Do we really want to do this, or is there a supplier locally that can do the same thing or a very similar thing for a similar price, and even if the price is slightly higher but the risk is a lot lower, that may be a decision we're ready to make, given what we have and still, quite honestly, are living through, and it's going to go into next year for sure.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Steve?
I have a question for Steve. Could you expand on the areas you're challenged in hiring or recruiting individuals for?
All. I mean, I don't mean to make fun of the situation. The biggest, by far, the biggest priority right now is in our factories. We are challenged hiring, I'll say, Michelin employees to the point now where we are not serving the market. We are not meeting the demand in the marketplace because we can't run our factories at maximum capacity, because we don't have enough employees to run the equipment. In addition to that, we do use quite a significant number of contingent workers in our factories, so non-Michelin employees that are working alongside Michelin employees every day, every shift in our factories. And those suppliers, so those employees are provided by our vendors. They too are struggling just as much as we are in finding candidates that are willing to work in our factories. We do have rotating shifts, which is not very attractive. If you're on day shifts this week and night shifts next week, and then back to day shifts, people typically like a fixed schedule. So we're rethinking our shift schedule, but today we haven't made any modifications. We're rethinking a lot of our hiring policies, but it's hurting our business today, both the ability to hire Michelin employees for our factory and the ability of our suppliers to provide those contingent workforce employees that we rely heavily on to make tires to support the customer demand. So we're losing business today because we can't hire fast enough. And unfortunately, our forecasts right now tell us that this wave, this tsunami of open positions probably won't be resolved until May, June next year. We don't see a light at the end of the tunnel right now. It's probably our biggest issue right now is getting those employees, those suppliers who can provide the support we need. We need people.
No, absolutely. I actually, but kudos to Michelin. I did see where you were #1 in tire sales still, with all the challenges you're having. That came out of a report yesterday. And then we have another company that sells Sea-Doo, which are watercrafts.
Yes.
And all the trailers they're receiving right now for their watercrafts are coming without tires because there's such a shortage of raw material and tires. So
Yeah,
you guys are definitely in challenging times. So, but I appreciate you expanding on that.
you're welcome.
I think we are, approaching, kind of running out of time. Does anyone have one more burning question? If not, we thank Steve and Yassine for hosting and speaking on today. Any last question?
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Well,
Really
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you all so much.
You're welcome. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Steve.
The next thing on our agenda is a presentation from our MBE Spotlight. And so today we have Chris Banks, who is the president of Legacy Wealth Management. And I know Carlo has been working hard to get our MBEs lined up for our meetings. And so we're glad to have Chris with us today. I know he has a PowerPoint. Do we have that PowerPoint ready to load up for his presentation? If so, we can do that while Chris is kind of giving us some introductory remarks as his PowerPoint comes up. Carlos said that he apologizes for not being on the call today. He had to travel out of town, but again, he took the effort to make sure that Chris could be with us. So, Chris, the floor is yours.
Good morning, and thank you everybody for the time. I thought it was funny for this because I actually do got a timer as well for this presentation, just to keep myself honest as well. I know y'all gonna keep track of it, but yeah, President, like you said, I'm the founder of Legacy Wealth Management. I founded my company about 4 years ago. We're a full service advisory firm that's based in Charlotte, North Carolina. The topic I'm actually going to be covering once the PowerPoint is up is going to be based on business valuation. It's a topic that I really believe is very intriguing and important for us being business owners ourselves. Knowing the true value of our business is something that I believe we all should know. So I'm not sure if it's up yet. Is the Jerry, you know if it's available? Because I can get.
Yeah, we sent it in advance, so hopefully, does someone have the PowerPoint that they can display? It's not
Jerry,
showing up on the screen yet.
Jerry, who are you looking to put it up? Because we just need to pinpoint that.
Debbie, do you have a Margilette?
Marjolette's not on.
Okay.
Let's see.
Do you have it, Debbie?
If not, you can send it to Gregory.Watson.
Let me send it to you real quick.
Okay.
Sorry
How you
about
doing,
that.
Greg? It's all good. How you doing, Greg?
Debbie has
Good.
it- Debbie has it
There
up.
we go.
Sorry, can y'all see it now?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yep.
Yep. Great. Thank you.
And there you go.
There we go. Appreciate that, Greg. You can actually go to the next slide. And I'll start there. There we go. Now, as I was saying with the business valuation piece, at some point, I mean, a lot of us on the line are business owners, and at some point, all business owners are going to want to exit their business. Therefore, having a valuation completed is very critical. If we look at the screen, you'll notice there's a few different items on the screen as to why you should have a business valuation completed. The most common reasons that I've seen since I've been in the marketplace is it's either one of three. It's either A, they're looking to sell their business, B, they've engaged in succession planning, and or they're looking to buy a business. In each example given, it's very important to know the true value in order to A, receive the maximum dollar when you're selling, a fair market value price when you're looking to buy and or acquire a company in the growth phase. And if you are incorporated in the succession planning, it allows you and your employees and the future of your company be properly protected as well. Next slide. I thought this was a very stunning fact that I did want to bring to your attention. 98% of all small business owners don't know what their business value is truly worth. If you don't really know what the value of your business is, it could actually cost you thousands, if not millions, specifically leading up to the sale and or exit of your business. It could actually have a lasting effect on you, your family, and also your employees. So my question that I typically ask people when I sit down with them is, would you plan for your retirement a few months before you retire? If you wouldn't, why would you wait until a major event to plan for the exit of your business? In many cases, you really won't get what you are looking for. Next slide. Again, if we stand in that vein on the valuation, people generally engage when it comes to the value, knowing the value of their business in one of four ways. They either say it's too expensive, it's too time consuming, it's too intrusive, or it's more of a events driven scenario. You know, events driven typically are scenarios such as a divorce, a death, or a disability. And in each scenario, chances of you getting the maximum value of your business at that time is a real highly unlikelihood. And it's typically more of a fire sale scenario. Next slide, please. Now, with that being said, there are several benefits to having a valuation done for your company. If we take a look at a few on the screen, you will see that you know the true value of your business, and it gives you the true net worth for your company. In many cases, owners, as a business owner, the largest asset you have is your business. So if you don't know what the true value of your business is, it's kind of hard to dictate what your true net worth is. Getting a valuation done as well, it also ensures that your family is protected. By understanding that, you kind of have discussions around that. Most business owners, when they find out what their full value is, it kind of helps them with the underlying value to protect their loved ones and also protect their business. In the scenario, what comes to mind is like key man insurance, or even having a buy-sell agreement that's in place or properly funded. You can actually plan properly for your future. You know, oftentimes businesses' decisions are around the retirement income, the estate, and/or trust planning. You can't really do that planning without understanding what your value is. You know, of course, other things is also understanding the true value of the business as well. Next slide. So if you decide to get a valuation complete, you have one of four values that you see on the screen: the equity value, the asset value, the enterprise value, and also the liquidation value. The two most important numbers to kind of pay attention to is your equity value and your enterprise value. Enterprise value is typically what the investment banks use. The equity value is going to be the number that includes everything that you have, which is why they call it the equity value. One thing that we want to kind of avoid is the bottom right, the liquidation value. That's actually key for fire sale, which is why you see the lowest number on the screen. Next slide, please. Upon completing the evaluation, you also get what we call a page that has KPIs, or key performance indicators. Those indicators break down amongst your peers as far as what can be done to improve the value of your business. If you take a look at it, you'll see above average, below industry average, at industry average, so on and so forth. Those gives you areas to kind of improve upon to help increase the value of your business. Next slide. Also, you get what's called the real-time value of the business. It ranks you, if you take a look at it, you'll be ranked nationally, which is where you see that number, and then you'll also be ranked locally amongst your peers. So it really gives you an idea of where you are in your own personal region. It also gives you a number or a scale, I guess, to kind of judge based upon where you're at from a national standpoint as well. Which, you know, if you know this information, if you are looking to acquire, you actually see where your peers are as well. So next slide. I wanted to thank you guys for your time. I tried to stay in my 10-minute mark. And I also like to end with this one quote that I typically leave when I leave meetings. Business valuation is the heart of investing and risk management, and without it, you're blind. The quote comes from Warren Buffett. That's what I have for you this morning. I'll leave it open for a couple of questions. And of course, my name is Christopher Banks, founder of Legacy Wealth Management here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Thank you for your time.
So I think we have go ahead. Was someone asking a question? Okay. Again, we really appreciate your presentation, Chris. I think we're kind of running out of time. I did want to take at least one question if someone had a burning question, Chris, and if you would, if you would put your information in the chat, those of us on the call who would like to utilize your services can certainly, get in contact with you. And I will say this, Carlo said he had just recently done some work with you and was singing your praises. And so you definitely have his endorsement. And so for that, we thank you for your presentation. Any one question that anyone has that's burning?
Thank you so much, Chris. This is Dominique. How long will it take for our business to get their valuation model done?
48 hours.
Excellent. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much, Chris. Great information. And again, in Carlos's stead, for other MBEs, this is very important to give you the spotlight and opportunity to share your business. This is a great platform for doing so. And so please get in contact with Carlo and let him know that you're wanting to present at our next REAM meeting, and we'll get you on the schedule. Thank you so much, Chris, and we'll definitely be in contact with you, I'm sure.
Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Great. Awesome. So the next thing on the agenda is Carlo, but he's not here, and so we'll just skip the MB chair report and move on to updates from CVMSDC. Dominique, what do you have for us?
Thank you so much, Jerry. So very quickly to keep us on time, I want to thank everyone who attended BOC, registered for BOC, donated items. It was a phenomenal event. I know that Debbie is still packaging up the presentations that were provided to share those with the people who registered. So that is forthcoming in your email, but it was a fantastic event. Just powerful information was shared. We are gearing up for MBE Summit, which is going to be sponsored by Clemson. Thank you so much, Jerry. Jerry and I had a brief conversation yesterday. We are still undecided whether or not it's going to be in person or virtual. We may have to pivot to virtual because of this Delta variant, not because the MBEs can't be there. The MBEs are, free to travel, but a lot of our corporate partners may have difficulty being there. And it is very important to have the corporate partners there so that you can engage with them. Two things that you can look forward to at MBE Summit, whether it's virtual or in person. We're going to have MBE to MBE Connect, which is a new program that rolls out this Friday, virtually this Friday. And every month, the first Friday of the month, we'll have MBE to MBE Connect, where MBEs that are certified can share opportunities with each other. And then we're going to have a different format for matchmaking at MBE Summit. We're calling it CORE. Where corporations will be on panels and will be sharing opportunities. Much like you heard today from Michelin, you'll learn what's going on with these corporations, and we're going to do it by industry. So we'll have manufacturing, retail, healthcare, banking, and government industry panels. And those panelists will be able to share opportunities they have in the next 6 to 12 months. And then tell you very specifically how you can engage with them as an MBE. So we're looking to fill those panels out. That information is forthcoming to all of our corporate partners so that they can sign up to be on a panel. But those are the two main focuses for MBE Summit this year. So look forward to that information. We have an open position in Virginia, an open part-time position, a certification specialist reporting to Marjolette Brown. So that is open and we're recruiting for that right now. And I think since the last time we spoke, I don't think we talked about our new CEO, Ying McGuire. We have hired a new CEO at NMSDC, and she is on the ground running. And so we're excited to hear from her soon. You can look her up and see her background is very heavy in technology. So we're looking for that infusion in technology with the councils. And so with that, I will turn it to Greg. Greg, do you have any updates on new corporate members?
Yeah, thank you, Dominique. We do have a new corporate member who we signed them up about a week ago. Santee Cooper, who is obviously, you all are probably very familiar with them in South Carolina. So they're excited about being a part of CBMSDC. We look forward to having them, and we're going to get them connected into the ranks. We do have one or two others that hopefully I'll be able to announce in the next week or so. I like to always leave you on the edge, and we'll soon be able to tell you exactly who they are. But I expect we'll have some more news for you in another maybe 2 weeks.
All right.
I'll leave it.
Thank you so much, Greg. And Margaret and Larry are traveling here to Greenville. Debbie, can you give us an update on communications, marketing, and newsletters?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dominique. And welcome everybody to the Ring meeting. We are moving from 3 times a week with our newsletter. Starting this month, we will be doing Monday newsletters only. So once a week, it will be chock full of the information that you have come to expect from the newsletter. I heard Crystal mention the Amazon Black Business Accelerator, which is also in today's newsletter. So if you need some more information about that program, the links are in the newsletter today. If you are not signed up to get the newsletter, please send me an email, drop your email in the chat, and I'll make sure that you are on that list. We're also very excited about our new MBE to MBE Connection initiative, and this is coming from the MBEIC chairs. This is an opportunity. Think of it as more like an expanded Ring meeting, right? So it's the MBEs to MBEs talking to one another, learning about the opportunities, how you might be able to partner together and scale your businesses. And finally, great presentation, Chris. Thank you so much for that. If you have not already signed up for the virtual capabilities briefing, that is your presentation, but it is a one-to-many opportunity for 30 minutes where it is recorded and it is shared with our corporate partners and MBEs alike, and will live on our website, and you can also use it as part of your marketing campaign. So I would encourage anyone who has not already signed up for a virtual capabilities briefing, please send me your information and we will get you scheduled for fourth quarter. And with that, thank you so much. I'll turn it back to Dominique.
Thank you so much. And we'll close with Meet the New. There's a new initiative coming out of NMSDC. We've brought on over 150 corporations in the last 18 months, and we're endeavoring to make sure, much like the core presentation we're going to have at MBE Summit, that our MBEs are aware of those new corporations and how they can get engaged. I know that we had one recently, and Snap-on Tools talked about what they were looking for, and Rajiv was very quickly able to get an appointment with them. So be looking in your email, looking in your newsletter, as Debbie said, for these opportunities, because we have some tremendous success stories that are coming out of newsletter information where MBEs are growing. So just want to close with that. It's called Meet the New, and it happens every month, and you have to sign up for it from NMSDC. And that's it, Jerry. Back to you. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Dominique and team, for all the great work that you do and will continue to do. And certainly we're here to support that. The next thing on the agenda is announcements. And I just have a couple of things to mention. Most of you probably are well aware that on tomorrow, the BMW matchmaking event will take place at the Greenville Convention Center. So for those of you, who are familiar with that event, hope to see you tomorrow at the event. It's in person, and so it will, I'm sure, as events in the past have been, will be a very successful event. So we're looking forward to that. And also wanted to mention of course, the Men of Color Summit, that's coming up in November 4th and 5th, which will also be at the Greenville Convention Center. And like the MBE Summit, we're waiting to see how things are going to go. But right now it's scheduled to be in person. But if not, we can always pivot to something, something else. And so just keep on the lookout for that information as well. And incidentally, that will actually be taking place the week before the MBE Summit. So the Men of Color will be the 4th and 5th, which is that Thursday and Friday, and then the MBE Summit will be Monday and Tuesday of that following week. And so, hopefully, if everything works out well, we'll be spending a lot of time in the upstate of South Carolina. Any other announcements at this time that anyone else has that they would like to make?
Jerry, I forgot to mention that we're going to be kicking off the University of Richmond developmental program in October, and in November, we're still accepting applicants for the Sunoco Leadership Program. So that application is out there on our website. It's I think it's $90 or $95 to apply, and then you can be accepted into the Sunoco Leadership class. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome. If there are no other announcements, I would like to say that we look forward to our next meeting, which will be October 6th, I believe. And JTech will be our corporate host. And I see John Carlos on the call, and we look forward to working with you. I'm assuming, Dominique, that we're staying in the virtual format. And so for the time being, until we get word to do something differently.
I think it's the safest thing to do, Jerry.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're looking forward to that, and so if nothing else, I think we have 4 minutes. If no one has anything they want to share in the last 4 minutes, I'm going to give you 4 minutes back. So again, really thank everyone for being on the call today. Really good information. Thank Michelin and Chris for their presentations, and we look forward to seeing you, if not tomorrow, at our next ring meeting in October. Okay? Everybody take care.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Great presentation. Goodbye, everyone. Hope to
Bye.
see you tomorrow.
All right, excellent. Chris, thank you so much. Steve, if you're still there, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Great job, Chris. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
All right, y'all take care.
All right, we're about to hit the road. Awesome, man.